Hello everyone. So today's topic is about the circuit pathway of C.elegans. It is a topic from developmental biology chapter. So there was a question in December 2013. It is a part B question. The question was the cell death pathway in C. elegans can be schematically represented as, you can see the CET9, it is a protein which is inhibiting the CET4 and CET3 activity. Correct? So based on the above, which one of the following statement is true? So the first statement is a loss of functionality of CET9 would lead to survival of the cells that normally die. To answer this question, first we need to know about the CET9 protein function, CET4 and CET3 protein function. So let's come to the pathway. So first one is when there is no death signal. Okay. So when the CET9 protein is in the mitochondrial membrane, it generally inhibits the CET4 activity. Okay. So the CET4 is dependent upon the CET9 protein activity, and as long as the CET9 protein is present in the mitochondrial surface, it inhibits the CET4 protein activity. So here you can see, as the CET4 protein is coming from the mitochondria to the nucleus, it is in the inactive condition. So in turn, the CET4 protein is interact with the CET3 protein, and here you can see the receptor for the death signaling molecule. So you can see the death signal proteins, that is the CET4 and CET3, they both get inactivated by the presence of the CET9 protein. Okay, so what you can conclude that when the CET9 protein is present on the surface of the mitochondria, then it inhibits the function of the death signal proteins at the CET4 and CET3 and make it inactive, so that the apoptosis is inhibited. Apoptosis means the cell death condition. It is inhibited and the cell remains alive. Okay. So the first point is a loss of functionality of CET9 would lead to the survival of the cells. No, it is a wrong statement, because we just discussed about the CET9 function. When CET9 is present, it inactivates the CET4 and CET3 protein, which leads to the death. So in the presence of CET9, the apoptosis is inhibited. So as the apoptosis is inhibited, the cells are alive. But in the loss of the function of CET9, it will lead to the activation of the cell death signal proteins, that is CET4 and CET3, which leads to cell death. So this is a wrong statement. The statement 2 is a loss of functionality of CET9 would lead to the excessive cell death. This is the right statement. The third statement is a gain of functionality of CET9 would lead to excessive cell death. This is not the case. It is wrong, because CET9 is preventing the apoptosis process. The cell remains alive. Fourth point is neither loss or gain of function of CET9 would make any change of the cell death. So you just need to remember one thing, that when the CET9 protein is present in the mitochondrial membrane, it inhibits the CET4 and CET3 protein activity. Okay, and what is the activity of CET4? The CET4 and with the CET3, they activate the apoptosis process. Okay, so in this cycle, by the presence of death signal, you can see the death signaling protein is now in the surface. Okay, so as it is on the surface, it is inhibiting the CET9 protein. So as the CET9 protein is now in an inactivated condition, it is no longer inactivate the CET4 and CET3 protein. As it is not in the active state, it is an inactive state. So as it is an inactive state, the CET4 and the CET3 protein are now active, and the activation cascade is going on with the result of cell death. So what happens in the presence of death signal? The cell receives a death signal. Okay, so the CET9 protein is no longer active. Okay, so it can't inhibit the CET3 and the CET4 protein activity. Okay, so it trigger the CET4 and the CET3 protein now trigger a apoptotic signal condition. Okay, which leads to the apoptosis and leads to the activation of the nucleases and the proteases. So the action of these enzymes causes the changes in apoptotic cells and eventually the cell death condition. And in the activated condition, the CET9 it inhibits the CET4 and CET3, so it generally prevents the apoptosis condition and the cell remains alive. So the correct option in this question is option 2. A loss of functionality of CET9 would lead to a excess cell death because the CET9 is solely responsible for the inhibition of apoptosis. Okay. So when there is a loss of CET9 protein, then eventually it will lead to cell death. Thank you. This is all about the cell death pathway in C. elegans. It is a very brief introduction about the pathway. As per the question I just explained. Thank you. If you like this video, hit the like button and do subscribe to get notified with the new videos. Thanks a lot.